Welcome to Work in Progress, Conversations with Creators. I'm your host, Logan Beitmen. On today's program, I have an actress who's 13 years old and was just in a film with Matthew McConaughey called The Lost Bus. Her name is Sophie Jane Frick, and we had a really interesting conversation. I hope that you enjoy.
If you enjoy our podcast, please like and subscribe and consider becoming a digital subscriber to the Albuquerque Journal to help us bring you more content like this. You can find this episode and all of our podcasts on the Albuquerque Journal website, abqjournal.com, as well as YouTube, iTunes, and Spotify. See the show notes for a discount code on a digital subscription. Thank you for supporting the Albuquerque Journal, New Mexico's leading news.
Hello, Sophie. How are you?
Hi, I'm doing amazing. Thank you.
Great. So this is Work in Progress. So this is a show where I talk to creative people about things that they've been working on recently. And you were just in a movie that's pretty exciting.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about that.
So I was in The Lost Bus. It's about these massive wildfires in Paradise, California, and it's basically a story on that. It's a very sad but amazing story.
So you're playing like a student on the school bus,
Yes.
and your teacher is there, right?
Yes.
And who's playing your teacher?
So America Ferrera is playing Miss Mary.
Mm-hmm.
She's an amazing actress. I love her so much. She's amazing.
She also started pretty young, I think. I think her first big role, she was like 12 or something.
Wow.
How old are you?
I'm now 13.
You're 13?
I turned 13 last Friday, so
Yeah.
I'm just now a teenager.
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't know if she talked to you at all about that or
So when we first started filming, she wanted to get to know everybody, and so we kind of got to learn about how she started acting, and I think that was very, very cool and very nice of her to do that.
Yeah. It's good to have a role model, someone who's kind of been through it before.
Right, yeah.
And then the bus driver, I think, is Matthew McConaughey. Is that right?
Yes, that's correct.
And what was it like working with him?
Working with him was just an amazing experience because, he was very professional. He was very much there to do his job, which I really appreciated because it helped me focus on acting to my best of my abilities.
Yeah. When did you start acting?
Oh gosh, I started acting when I think I started in 2020.
Mm-hmm.
So it's been a while. My first project was Dark Winds, and then I booked Waco, The Aftermath after that, and now The Lost Bus. So I've been in it for a few years.
Yeah. I was just watching Dark Winds, which I hadn't seen, but I wanted to watch it to prepare. And, the scenes that you're in, it's kind of frightening, right? Like you're in a car that's being chased, and that you end up they have you at the bottom of a well, and all that, and you're crying, and it's very the emotions are very real and very convincing.
Thank you.
How are you able to do that? Because I feel like that's something that's so difficult for anyone, for an adult actor that's been acting their whole life and they've been through a lot of experiences, to be able to communicate and express those kind of emotions. How are you able to do that? Okay,
so before Dark Winds, I took 0 acting classes. I had no experience.
Really?
Yes, I had no clue what I was doing half of the time. So kind of what I did was I envisioned this story in my mind because I didn't see, the full story, the full TV show yet, because just only my scenes I saw. So I kind of imagined what it would be like, and so I just stepped into my mind. I was like, okay, well, if I got kidnapped in real life, then I would probably be screaming, crying, fighting.
Right.
And so I just kind of, while I was filming, I put myself in my mind, and then I basically just envisioned my family, and I envisioned this as real. I like blocked out all of the cameras. I blocked out all of the green screen, and I
Right.
just was in the moment. And I think that's kind of really what helped me play those emotions.
I mean, you make it sound very easy,
Thank you.
but I feel like, yeah, I don't know, you have to have something in you to be able. I mean, had you ever? I assume you weren't in that exact situation in your
Yes.
in your life, but I don't know. Like, had you ever been in like a scary car ride or like an accident or anything?
No,
No.
I just had to, I kind of associated it with roller coasters because I
Oh
hate them.
yeah.
And so that fear that I get whenever I ride one, that kind of helped me, because I knew what fear I should kind of play, because it was kind of like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna die, I
Yeah.
get that feeling. And so I just envisioned me on a roller coaster.
Yeah.
And so that kind of helped me be more scared, since I didn't have anything to relate to.
Yeah.
That just kind of helped me relate to those emotions.
That sounds good, and that sounds like healthy too. Because I know,
Yes.
I think even like for, I've spoken to adult actors who sometimes for their roles they'll bring up some really awful memories of the,
Right.
and I think it's not always good to relive that, but
Mm-hmm.
reliving a roller coaster, it's not so
It's
bad.
not
and
as
it,
bad. Yeah.
it still gets the right emotion across on screen. So, so you did that, and then you did the Waco.
Yes.
What's that called? The
Waco, the aftermath.
yeah,
Yes.
which is also kind of a scary
Yes.
thing. And now you're in this movie about a bus that's lost among the forest fires, and so seems like you're able to do these kind of very intense
Yes.
roles.
Yep, those intense roles are actually my favorite roles to play,
Yeah.
because it's just really fun to reenact these scenes. And comedy is pretty fun too, but I feel like more drama is more of my strong suit, and I
Yeah.
can kind of play those characters better. And actually, one of my dream roles is to be like chased by like a killer or something, or be murdered. I know it sounds very, very dark, but it looks so fun to play, because honestly, okay, so what you see on the screen is very dramatic and stuff, but then whenever you're on set, it's like the complete opposite.
Yeah.
It's just good times, I guess.
Yeah. No, I think that makes a lot of sense, because it's it's not real, and it's
Yes.
and so it's kind of fun. I mean, I think it would be fun,
Yeah.
but yeah, I don't know. That's pretty cool. So, but you've done some comedy as well?
I haven't booked a comedy role yet, but I have done a lot of auditions.
Yeah.
I've taken a lot of classes for comedy, and I think that I am pretty good in comedy, but I
Yeah.
just enjoy drama more,
Yeah.
because I don't know, it helps me get all my emotions out if I have something going on in my personal life.
Yeah.
And also it's just a bit easier to imagine those scenes, because in comedy it's not as real, I guess.
Right.
So I would prefer drama over comedy.
Yeah. Well, and usually, the dramatic roles are the ones that win the big awards too.
Right. Yeah.
Even though I think comedy sometimes it's tougher, I think,
Oh yeah, comedy can be very, very tough, because
yeah.
you have like a certain timing, you have to, get those jokes in and stuff,
Yeah.
and it can be very, very difficult.
So how's it work with school? Like, do you have like tutors on the set, or are you going to
Yes.
school?
So I go to Connections Academy. It's an online charter school. So I kind of get to work, kind of on my own time. It's more flexible, so it helps me when I'm on set, because, I don't have to like worry as much as like being in school, like in public school.
Yeah.
But they do have set teachers, which, they can kind of help guide you if you have a question on your homework, or so they also ensure that you do the amount that's required
Yeah.
for the day, because there's a bunch of laws about it, and
Yeah.
you have to have those people to ensure that you're doing the work.
And like on this film, there's a lot of other people that are your age, right?
Yes.
So are you all kind of doing homework together and stuff?
Yeah, so they put us in a classroom. They had us all do our own work, and so it was a different experience for me, because before I have never really been on a set with a lot of kids.
Yeah.
So it was kind of different being with a bunch of other children. So but it was fun, because they just let you do your work, and it was pretty nice. So
Yeah. Did you all get along with each other?
yes.
Well, that's good.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, do you feel like you made friends with some of the other kids?
Yes. Yes, I definitely made a couple friends. So there were two kids especially who were very kind to me and who were very professional, and so I really appreciated those kids.
Yeah. No, that's good. I think it's, because I would imagine it's probably like tough. A lot of other kids aren't going to really understand what it's like to do what you do.
Yes, I did feel like, so there were a lot of younger kids, and I understand that, they weren't as in the zone sometimes, which, hey, I totally get, because if I was that young, I wouldn't be either. So it was kind of more different for me, because, I've never been with younger kids before on a set, and so I kind of had to, find different ways, I guess, to kind of act and to kind of get them, to be in the zone for me.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, it was a bit more difficult since some of them were younger, which I totally get. I would probably be the same. But yeah, it was fun though.
Well, it's good. It sounds like you were kind of a mentor
Yes.
to some of them. So that's pretty cool,
Yes.
And so, was it supposed to be all different ages of kids on the bus, or were you playing a younger role?
Okay, so I don't really know the answer for that, because they didn't really release much detail on what the plan was. But yeah, it was kind of scattered ages. So I think it was multiple classrooms that were stuck together that were on the same bus. I think that's what happened.
That makes sense. Yeah, and I guess when you're filming, you film stuff out of order, right?
Oh yeah.
So you may not know kind of what the whole film is gonna look or feel like
Right,
while
yeah.
you're shooting it, right?
Yes, that's the one thing about acting which is kind of difficult for me, because even in all of my other projects we shot out of order, which is actually kind of common in sets, because it sometimes relies on budget, or what people are there that day, because if you have an actor who's there one day but then not the next, they're gonna squeeze in all of that actor's scenes in one day to use not as much money sometimes.
Right.
And so sometimes it's a bit difficult, because you kind of don't know what the order is. And so luckily some scenes, or some sets, they send the whole script, which is nice for you to kind of read.
Yeah.
And then so I usually plan out what emotions I'm going to feel in this one and then the next. And so I kind of just go down the line, and then whatever scene we're going to film, I'm going to do those emotions.
Yeah. I mean, that sounds good. I don't know. You seem like you're a real professional. I guess
thank
you
you.
are. So, who are your heroes that you look up to in terms of acting?
Oh gosh, I would not be here if it weren't for my parents, for my acting coaches, for my agent, for my manager. They are just so amazing. I would definitely not be here if it weren't for them. So they're kind of my heroes, and I kind of look up to them. I also look at other actors
Yeah.
because, sometimes I can relate to some people and it can kind of help me get through some difficult times. And I think that's very, very helpful.
Like, who are some of the actors that you admire?
Matthew McConaughey, after
Yeah.
working on the set with him, he was just such an amazing person. He was very, very professional. And, I feel like he's a very, very good role model because he is that way. He's very professional. He has amazing acting skills.
Yeah.
And so I really enjoy learning from him, what he does in scenes. And I think it's very important to have somebody to look up to in acting.
That's great, and that's great to hear. Because I don't know, I've never met Matthew McConaughey,
Right.
and I don't know that much about him, but I could imagine that he might be the kind of like actor who's like has a big ego and all. But it sounds like he's not like that at all.
No, he's very laid back,
Yeah.
he's very kind, very professional, he gets the job done, which I very much appreciate that.
Yeah. So are you from Albuquerque
Yes,
originally?
I am.
Yeah, born and raised.
Yep. Hmm.
And I mean, it's nice that we have some good films happening
Yes.
here. So it seems like a good place to be. Do you think eventually? You think you'll stay here for the long term, or would you want to move to LA or somewhere else eventually?
So I really love it here. I do not want to move anywhere else, but if I do have to, I'll move to LA for my career. But I really love the climate here. You don't
Yeah.
get hurricanes. You don't get that many tornadoes.
Earthquakes, no earthquakes.
Earthquakes. Yeah, it's like for natural disaster type of stuff. It's perfect. I do not want to leave here.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of films in LA, and so maybe someday I'll have to move out. But that's down the road.
Sure. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. No, definitely. Well, let's see what else. I heard you like horses.
Oh
Is that
yes.
right?
Yeah, I do a lot of horseback riding. I've been doing it for a while now. I don't
Yeah.
remember exactly how long, but it's been a while. I really enjoy that. I also do a lot of archery too
Oh
recently.
wow.
Yeah, so that's kind of my thing right now, and I feel like whenever you have these special skills like horseback riding, archery, it helps you sometimes with acting because sometimes there's certain roles. If like a character is an archer,
Right.
you can easily do that and they won't have to hire someone else.
Yeah. You could be Katniss Everdeen in the
Exactly.
Hunger Games or something. you know?
Yeah.
It would be cool, yeah, if you get a role sometime where you get to ride around on a horse shooting
Oh yeah.
arrows.
Yeah, that would be very, very fun. It might be a bit scary because I
Yeah.
have never done that before, but that would be really fun.
But it seems like you like scary things. also.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, this is really great. It's been great talking to you. Is there anything else you want to say before we go that I didn't ask about?
I don't think so. I think we're good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thanks so much. This has been really a great time talking to you. And
Of course. Thank you for having me.